I do think that AOC and Gavin Newsom right now, they represent two distinct paths that the Democratic Party could go down, where Gavin Newsom represents the placating to the conservatives, kind of playing the political game in that way. And then AOC kind of represents more of a pendulum shift as far as like coming back from MAGA and with a kind of new look Democratic Party. So for me, I'm leaning in that direction. I think it's inspiring to see what they're doing with the Stop the Oligarchy tour. And I think the messaging is right on point. That's exactly what we need to be focusing on as far as like mobilizing people. And that's what Kamala didn't do, by the way. There was not really any kind of like mobilization aside from like against Trump, which I think people had kind of just grown some fatigue around that being the grounds that we're going to battle on is, oh, Trump's bad, like at least we're not as bad as Trump. People have been voting for the least of two evils for fucking 20 years now. Like they were just tired of making that decision, so they're like, I want to vote for the worst of the two evils, see what happens. But so a couple other people I wanted to run down that I've seen mentioned. Obviously Jon Stewart has been mentioned a few times on some of these like pundit shows that I've seen. I think he's a great communicator, and similar to Bernie, I think when you look at his track record, not as a necessarily political official, but as a political person, is stellar. So when you see his, you know, what side of of issues that he's landed on, he's been consistently principled with the position that he's taken. So I would at least trust where he's coming from on if he decided to run. And like I said, these, I just want to run through them real quick, and we'll dig more into it going forward. The last one that I actually had was Stephen A. Smith. What a fucking joke. Every time I've mentioned this several times on the podcast, I put it on there because I wanted to get Paul's opinion. You guys already heard my opinion. It's the most laughable fucking thing in the world to think that the guy that fucking sat across from Skip Bayless while he was fucking grabbing his fucking hairdresser's ass behind the scenes, like we should just go ahead and let him run. The guy that fucking just literally his job is, okay, well, what argument are you going to be taking? Okay, we'll argue opposite of that. There's no fucking principle. There's no real sound reasoning on his side. It's just like, let's make entertaining television. That's our exposure to him. And because fucking idiots have been like, well, he can talk good on TV. That gets you a seat in Trump's cabinet. That doesn't get you a seat as the president. Sorry. So maybe you can be fucking, you know, director of fucking communications, fucking, if you want. But Stephen A. Smith, yeah, I have no desire to see him in a political arena. Even now that I've seen that Disney has altered his contract or whatever, where he's able to talk more about politics and stuff, completely fucking disagree and despise his fucking opinions. You know, he's as the wind blows, in my opinion. And now he sees that there's some money to be made in this arena, so that's why he's, you know, moving over in that direction. There's no real ideology that he holds, in my opinion. Another thing that I wanted to mention was Conor McGregor running for president of Ireland and taking a real nationalistic kind of look at it. I've seen a lot of Conor McGregor tweets about, you know, keeping Ireland Irish and things of that nature. I am curious how any of you guys feel about that, but really something I just want to put out there. Let's see what Jade Spade says. Just wait and see. Gavin Gavin Newsom cooked his chances with that stupid MAGA loving podcast. Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking. I guess he was like, let me reach across the aisle and convince some MAGA voters to vote for it. It's like they would never, ever vote for you. They're probably not listening to your podcast, aside from maybe like, I hope they make Gavin Newsom look stupid, but they hate you, bro. They hate you, Gavin. But yeah, it's just interesting because in a time where we're seeing fascism kind of on the rise and a sort of national, I think there's really like some kind of deeper, more dark kind of ideology that's being wrapped up in national pride, and that's where we get nationalism. But I see that even with America, when you kind of get into like some of the isolationist The Make America Great Again and all that kind of stuff, which I agree with as far as like as a sentiment, but the nationalistic kind of view I think is becoming more and more present and acceptable in just kind of the political zeitgeist. And I think it's very interesting that you have, the forebearers of it. You have, like Donald Trump, who is a reality TV star basically, and you have Conor McGregor, loudmouth fucking mixed martial artist, and these are the people that they put at the forefront to really sell the idea. And it's just, I don't know, it's just it's an interesting thing, an interesting world that we're in today. Let's see what else we had here. I did want to talk a little bit about the Snow White